Then we have got the deployment models. Venkat, I also heard of private cloud, community cloud, public cloud and hybrid cloud. What actually is that? It's quite confusing, right? Let's go for a trip. Assume that you recently joined an organization called TCS. You are a wonderful system administrator or a virtualization administrator. You recently joined in one of the key roles in TCS organization. In TCS, they already have the data center virtualized. Okay. On the data center, they also got virtualization implemented. Your managers have come to you and said, hey, Venkat, it is nice to have you in our team. It's wonderful. So I wanted to show a value add of you joining the team to the management. So can you please do some value add service? Can you take an initiative and show something extra that you would do compared to the team? Then we are highly motivated. We just we just wanted to do something and get an appreciation or applause from our team or our manager. That's what we try to, and that's how a team should be. So I go to our ticketing system. I downloaded the tickets history of last 6 months or 1 year, and I analyze the tickets. I understand 70% of the work that your team, the virtualization team, is doing is a repetitive tasks. Only the 30% is unique. Of the 60%, if you see, majority of the tasks are server provisioning, server decommissioning, capacity adjustment tickets like processor addition, processor removal, memory adding, memory removal, hard disk expansion kind of tasks. You've given an idea to your manager saying, sir, to start with, why don't we have a self-service portals where the teams would serve their requests on their own. For example, if they need servers, instead of submitting a ticket to a server team, to a virtualization team, they will do it on their own, where we're going to provide a self-service portal. Your manager said, yes, do a POC, show me the results, and you will be given permissions to roll it out into the production. Then you've actually developed, when you sat with your development team, you developed a small form into your ticketing. Okay, you're just gonna get an orchestrator. Orchestrator is nothing but an automation software, and you also have got a ticketing system. So there is a URL, portal.tcs.com. portal.tcs.com. When you hit that URL, it will redirect to this form. Ticketing system, there will be a form that asks about what is your name, what team you belong to, what you want, a server of what configuration, Windows, 2 processors, 8 GB RAM, what will be the username and password. You submit the details. Once you submit the details into this form, it immediately gives that as an input to the orchestrator, and the orchestrator is going to create a virtual machine here. As the form already took the details of yours, it is going to send a mail, trigger a mail once the provisioning is done. Hey, your server is ready. This is the IP address, and you've anyways given the username and password. Please proceed to use it. Done. You've shown these results to your manager. He is quite happy. He rolled it across the departments of the organization, saying, today, 4th, anybody needs a server. You don't come to server team, but hit this URL, portal.tcs.com. Earlier what? If a DBA need a server, they are submitting a ticket, and ticket has got a SLA of 4 days, so they just have to wait for 4 days for a server to be created so that they'll proceed. But now if a DBA needs a server, they just go to the portal and create a server on their own. In 5 minutes it is ready, or 10 minutes it is ready. Instead of waiting for 4 days or maybe more than that, now the server is ready in 10 minutes and they are proceeding with their work. Essentially, to the organization, it is benefiting a lot. So every other team started using it, but soon you run into a problem that If a team needs 4 servers, they are deploying 10 servers. That way, soon the data center capacity is exhausted, is over. Then what? You happen to shoot a mail to all the departments saying, sir, your teams have been over provisioning the servers. That can you please ask them to release the servers that are not hosting the business applications? They're not hosting the production applications. Then you get a nice reply from the manager saying, buddy, every single server that we have is a production critical. We cannot release them back. And what to do? You cannot extend the capacity, because as you extend the capacity, that will be over again in 2 days. But you will have to do that again, and forever that will be continued. But you need to find a way to gain control over the provisionings. When you happen to attend one of the sessions like this, you come across a tool called chargeback or pay as you go. There is a tool from VMware also that's called chargeback. Chargeback is basically a pricing sheet. Okay, so if you need 1 processor, 1 GB RAM, it is going to cost you 10 rupees. If you need 2 processor, 2 GB RAM, it is going to cost you 20 rupees. Right? 1 processor, 2 GB RAM, maybe 15 rupees. So there is a price card in chargeback. And for 1 hour, this is the price, 2 hours. So you just fill in the details, integrate that chargeback with your virtualization platform. When every server is created, that is created with a department ID and the team, at the end of the month, the chargeback is triggering a nice report. What department is using how much of services, so what is their bill. So database team, hey, your bill is $10,000. Please pay it. The testing and QA, $5,000. Wonderful, you pay it. So you just forward that mail to the respective department heads, ask them to pay it. As long as the individual departments are paying, you have no problem in extending the capacity. Now they're going to ask their teams, hey, why do you need these many servers? If you really need a server, provide me justification for every single server that you have. So either you're going to get the capacity back or you're going to get the money. That is good, but essentially you've got the control over your data center. That went very well. So if they need capacity, you are able to do it. And you have TCS being a MNC, they have data centers in India and rest of the world as well. So if they wanted to create a server in other locations, they are able to do it. Now just fall back and remember the 5 essential qualities of the cloud computing. And see, the first one is on-demand self-service. Do we have it in our delivery? Yes. If a DBA needs a server, he just hit a URL called portal.tcs.com. That's all. He will be able to create a server on his own. It's ready. On-demand self-service on his own. The other one is rapid elasticity. Yes, if they wanted to scale to a good extent, they will be able to do it, because as long as they are paying, server team or virtualization team find it no difficult to extend the capacity. Resource pooling, well, of course, if the teams wanted to deploy the servers in different locations, they just give the details into the form, but the server will be created. So you have that. Pay as you go. Yes, your usage is being accurately measured, and at the end of the month the bill is generated. You have all of them. And one last thing is broad network access. We don't have it because portal.tcs.com is only accessible within TCS organization, but if you come outside of that organization and open internet, if you hit that URL, it will not work because it is meant for the organization only. Please understand this. A portal.tcs.com is not accessible on the internet because the purpose of it is to be private. It is local to their organization. It's supposed to be local. It's supposed to be accessible on the LAN of the TCS organization. So we call it as private cloud. Please understand the 5 essential qualities, and we just do not have the broad network access. So it is a private cloud. That's called the private cloud. Then coming to the community cloud. Say today the whole world is suffering because of the COVID-19. Let's say hospital organizations like Apollo, KIMS and NIMS, the top healthcare organizations in India, wanted to form as a community and to work together so that they can come up with the medicine very soon, quickly. So for these 3 companies to work together, they need a common IT services, because they wanted to collaborate, work so that they can bring medicine quickly. So you build a data center, you ensure the other 4 qualities are in there, but when it comes to broad network access, earlier in TCS example, the network connection is open to only 1 organization, but now the network connections are open to 3 organizations, and 3 organizations form as a community for a purpose, and that's the community cloud. So the small difference is network connections. So you open the network connection to 3 organizations, and that's the community cloud. And when it comes to the public cloud, well, public cloud, as the name says, it is meant for everybody. It's supposed to be accessible by everybody on the internet. You've got Azure.Microsoft.com. You've got AWS.Amazon.com. You've got Cloud.Google.com. So these are all the public cloud platforms. They're supposed to be accessible on the internet. So we are accessing it. So we have 5 essential qualities in the delivery, and that's simple it is. Right? We've got Google Cloud, we've got Microsoft Azure Cloud, because we are able to access them because they are public cloud platforms. They are supposed to be accessible by everybody on the internet. Then hybrid cloud. Let's say, fall back to the first example of TCS.com. Right. So TCS is already having their private cloud environment, and they've got a new project. For another 500 servers. They've got just a second. So let's fall back to the first example, TCS. They already have a private cloud, and they have 4 essential qualities, 1 less. It is all good. And they've got a new project to host 500 servers, 20 databases, 100 terabytes of storage. So for this capacity, you cannot accommodate this in the existing private cloud environment. So keeping the timeline of the project, you just hosted that into AWS. And between private and AWS, there is a VPN connection that you have laid. At any point of time, a server from AWS can be moved to on-premises or vice versa. At a given point of time, when you are using more than 1 cloud platforms, a combination of private and public, or private and community, or community or public, any 2 is called hybrid cloud. That's private, community, public and hybrid. At a given point of time, when you are using more than 1 cloud platforms, that's called the hybrid cloud.